G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. Good to be back doing videos, and I have another Japanese black pine here that needs some cleaning up after good growing season and autumn, etc. It's now midwinter. It's a good time still to clean up. I just didn't have time to do all the cleaning up over winter and wiring up of this tree. This tree needs a full wiring, clean up in terms of needle plucking, just the whole works. It's a really nice tree, really old one already. I'll put the scissors in there to see, compare the size. The nabari are very good. The trunk's really old, beautiful semi-cascade style. Pot's not very nice, but we'll look at repotting that this year or maybe next year. Depends how the tree goes. But I'm going to get stuck into getting some cleaning up this tree. Needle plucking is the most important for now. Get all the old needles off so that I can see what I'm doing. Leave all the new growth, but all the old needles from like last year, you pluck those off. And they're quite easy to determine, the old needles. They're a bit darker, a bit more worn out. They're further back on the tree, whereas the new ones are in the tips and growing here. They're nice and healthy. And these ones here, you can see they're a bit older and hanging down and kind of getting a bit worn out. That's the old ones. So you can probably see them on a bit more out of there. I won't touch the candles, won't touch any of the buds. Very important to leave them alone. I'm not going to do any major pruning, I don't think, on this tree. I think all the branches I'm happy with. It's just a matter of just fine wiring a lot of it. I think the main branches are all set. Just the secondary, getting all the secondary ones really in a nice position. I really like a formal tree here with this tree. I want to have a really nice detailed design. Get the pads all nice and low, right down. And really layered and get a layered effect. It might come down a little bit with wiring and get that nice cascade branch as a real feature on that tree. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start needle plucking. Needle plucking, I'll start from the top and work my way down. The main reason is you drop so much needles and you can clean your way as you go down. So you start needle plucking up here, and when you get to down here, there's so much needles already stuck on this area. You just clean them out. Much easier doing that than working your way up. So if I started needle plucking this way and going up here, I'd have to come back all the way again and clean up all the needles. So always start at the top and do your needle plucking from the top. Careful of the buds, careful of the new growth, and just get it done. All right. So it might take me a couple of hours to actually just needle pluck. This tree is quite dense, so I'm going to go away and do that now. So I've actually gone a few steps ahead. I've cleaned up all the old needles, but I started to wire the tree. I started to wire the first this branch. This branch is actually one big branch, the whole cascade branch. Now you can see the size of this branch. It's quite substantial with higher branches, making pads a bit higher up. So you really start with the lowest one, wire it all out. Then the next ones go up, and you create the pad-like effect that's stepped down as you go down the tree. Now I have changed the front slightly, a bit hard to probably see in the camera. I've wired that branch, I've wired this branch out in here, and now I've got to work my way in the rest of the tree. So as you wire, you notice how you can see gaps now starting to form, which is great. So that means I can pull these down into this spot as I go. So that's the beauty of wiring. You're creating more space for the ones above. There's lots of space now here to have these branches all pulled down and really fill it in. So this tree should be really nice and compact when I'm finished. Just a lot more wiring up here, and that's pretty much it. It's just a wiring job. And slight change in the front. I found if the original front, you couldn't see the nabari that well. This new front, you'd see the nabari and the trunk a little bit better. It's only slightly off center, just slightly this way. So when I repot probably next year, I don't think I'm going to repot it this year. I'm going to repot it next year, feed it really heavily this year, get it really strong, get it growing well, and then I'll repot it next year into a better pot. This is okay. A little heavy for it, maybe something a bit more roundish would be suited better rather than a square. But I'm going to keep working away, just purely wiring all the branches. Pretty much how much I've wired there is pretty much what's left up here, or even less. That branch is massive. It was actually huge. It's actually a tree in itself, just by itself. That branch is massive. So here is where I'm up to with the tree. You can probably see it's just this little bit of a head now remaining. But you can kind of see this really gives you an idea of how you pull down all the branching to create these nice levels and pads and so on. But everything has to be pulled down to be able to fit all the other stuff a bit higher up. So this is now just the apex part. I've got a couple of small branches over here I need a wire. But yeah, it's a little heavy, if you can see that. It's really a bit heavy on this side. So I'm just going to try and swirl it around, a little bit around to the back to give some needed branches at the back. And then I'll have a look a little bit thinner, so which would be good, because at the moment it's a little bit thick. But this tree really is just telling you guys it's all about wiring. So conifers, you just have to wire. There's nothing else you need to do, right? Well, I mean, you need to do a lot of other things, but if you want to have a good tree, you have to wire it. It's that simple. I know people sometimes say, oh, I don't like to wire, and they just wire the main branches. Well, you can do that, but the tree will never achieve the maximum potential it has. I'm wiring pretty much majority of branches. There's just some shoots that are right at the tip. I'm not going to wire them, but everything else is being wired. Deciduous trees, you can get away with just probably wiring the main branches on deciduous trees. And then clip and grow the twigs and so on, the tips and tertiary branches. It works okay. But yeah, anything that's conifer, you need to wire fully to get the best result. And once we've done this, you'll see what I mean by just this area here. Just if you remember what this looks like, watch how it looks in the next video. So here's how the tree ended up. You can see all the nice wiring, fully wired. Give it a spin and you can see it's all looking really good, well defined and well padded out and well wired. So please just remember, with conifers you really need to wire your trees. That's all I was trying to get to. Wiring your trees into pads and getting them looking good, and that's all you really need to do. Well, feeding, etc., watering and blah blah blah, sunshine, lots of that, but wire your trees to get the best result, and you end up with a pine like this. So this tree now will just be left to recover, same spot in the garden, just fed and watered as per normal, and should be good in a few years' time. Repot probably next year. It's probably too much now, too much of it has been done to this tree, so next year I'll do the repot. So hopefully you guys have seen how nice and well defined all the branches are, and it should be looking good in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.